On August 20th, 2025, from the silent shores of Chandipur, Odisha, the sky split open. A column of fire roared upward, leaving behind smoke, thunder, and awe. This was no ordinary launch. It was Agni 5, India's most powerful missile, nuclear-capable, intermediate range, a weapon born not from fear, but from resolve. They called it a test, but in reality, it was a declaration, a message to the world, to rivals watching every move, to allies wondering about India's future, to every Indian heart beating with pride. Agni 5 flew, but its story is decades old. The word Agni means fire, and since the 1980s, India has been forging fire into steel. Agni 1, with a range of 700 kilometers. Agni 2, stretching beyond 2,000 kilometers. Agni 3 and Agni 4, pushing the envelope to 3,000 and 4,000 kilometers. Each missile, a step closer to independence. Each launch, a reminder that India will never bow again. And now, Agni 5, over 5,000 kilometers of reach, enough to cover almost all of Asia, enough to touch northern China, enough to whisper to Europe, India can strike if it must. But range alone doesn't define Agni 5. It's nuclear capable. It can carry a warhead weighing up to 1.5 tons. It fits into India's no first use doctrine, not built to start wars, but to end any threat that dares begin one. And the future, even more terrifying. Agni 5 is designed for MIRVs, multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles. One missile, many warheads. Each warhead, a different target. A single launch could silence an entire battlefield. Today, only a handful of nations wield this power. The US, Russia, China, France, the UK. And now, India joins the elite. But the fire of Agni 5 burns with something deeper. It is made in India, designed, developed, and tested by DRDO from the ground up. An indigenous shield, a homegrown sword. When it lifted off from Chandipur, it wasn't just a missile, it was a symbol that India can stand alone, that no foreign power decides our destiny. Why now? Look at the map. To the west, Pakistan, unstable, unpredictable, nuclear-armed. To the north, China, expanding its arsenal, flexing in the Indian Ocean, seeking dominance in Asia. The timing of this test is no accident. It's a reminder that India will not be left behind, that India has teeth, sharp, unflinching, undeniable. But Agni 5 is not alone. It is one pillar of a mighty triad. On land, the Agni series. At sea, nuclear submarines prowling the depths. In the skies, aircraft capable of carrying nuclear payloads. Together, a nuclear triad, the ultimate insurance policy. Add to this, Prithvi missiles, surface-to-surface warriors of shorter range. Shaurya missiles, high-speed, hypersonic. BrahMos cruise missiles, among the fastest in the world, feared by navies everywhere. India's arsenal is not just big, it is layered, it is adaptive, it is unstoppable. Still, the Agni 5 test feels different, because this one carried not just payload, but emotion. It told 1.4 billion Indians, you are safe, your country is strong, your future is protected. It told the world, India's rise is not just economic, it is military, it is strategic, it is irreversible. So on August 20th, 2025, the fire was not just fuel burning, it was history writing itself. It was the future being forged in the skies above Odisha. A reminder to every rival, India does not seek war, but if war is forced upon it, India will end it. But to truly understand the fire India unleashed on August 20th, 2025, we must look at the story behind it. The story of a nation that was once told it could never stand on its own. For decades after independence, India depended on foreign powers for defense. Imported jets, imported tanks, imported missiles. Every war, 1962, 1965, 1971, reminded us of our weakness. But out of that humiliation came determination. The Integrated Guided Missile Development Program was born in the 1980s. It gave India the Prithvi, the Trishul, the Nag, and then the Agni, the fire that would one day roar into the sky as Agni 5. Each missile was not just a weapon, it was a promise that India's children would inherit strength, not weakness. And while Agni missiles formed the backbone of India's nuclear deterrent, they were not alone. India built BrahMos, the fastest cruise missile in the world, so fast that even modern defense shields struggle to stop it. India tested Shaurya, a hypersonic strike weapon, flying at blistering speeds. India perfected Prithvi, short-range, battlefield-ready. Step by step, India's arsenal became layered, short-range to long-range, battlefield to strategic, land, sea, and air. This is why strategists today call India a nuclear triad power. Because unlike most nations, India can launch from anywhere. From missile silos hidden on land, from submarines lurking deep under oceans, from aircraft slicing through the skies. A triad, a trident. In this world, silence is weakness, and weakness invites war. But India refuses to be weak. It speaks through its actions, through launches that light up the night sky, through missiles that roar louder than speeches. Agni 5 is not a weapon to be fired casually. It is a reminder that behind India's calm face lies a fist of steel, that behind every call for peace lies the capability to end conflict if forced. And yet, this story is not about war. It is about survival, about dignity, about independence. When Agni 5 soared from Chandipur, it carried more than payloads. It carried the weight of history, of centuries of invasion, of decades of dependence, of every soldier who fell because India once lacked the weapons it needed. This missile is for them, for the farmer who sleeps soundly knowing his nation is safe, for the student who dreams of building the next DRDO, for the soldier on the border staring across at enemy lines, knowing his country stands behind him. The fire India lit on August 20th, 2025 will echo for years, because Agni 5 is not just about what India has today. It's about what India will become tomorrow. Hypersonic glide vehicles, next-generation submarines, space-based defense, an arsenal so advanced that no rival would dare test India's patience. This is the path ahead, a path where India does not merely defend itself, but sets the gold standard for defense. So ask yourself this: when the future is written, will the world remember Chandipur as just another test site? Or will it remember it as the place where a sleeping giant finally roared awake? The fire that thundered into the skies above Odisha was more than just the ignition of solid fuel. It was the ignition of confidence, the ignition of self-reliance, the ignition of a future where India refuses to play second to anyone. Chandipur's roar will echo far beyond its coastline, through Asia, across oceans, into every war room where India's name is discussed. Rivals will take note, allies will stand in awe, and 1 billion Indians will carry the memory of this day as proof that their nation cannot be intimidated, cannot be silenced, and cannot be ignored. So the question is not whether India can protect itself. The real question is, who will dare to test the resolve of a nation that turns fire into destiny?